So back in 2016, Illinois did something almost nobody remembers. It started putting birth certificates and Cook County land titles onto a blockchain. Real pilots. While most of the country was still asking what Bitcoin even was, Illinois was, genuinely, one of the first crypto-friendly states in America. And here's the twist, right? 10 years later, that same state is one signature away from becoming the first place in the country to tax every single crypto trade, whether you made money or lost it. So how did Illinois go from quiet pioneer to potential cautionary tale? And who's standing in the doorway trying to stop it? Yeah, that's the story of the Illinois Blockchain Association. So to understand the association, you have to understand the soil it grew out of. On the last day of November 2016, Illinois launched the Illinois Blockchain Initiative, a real five-agency state effort led by the Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. Governor Bruce Rauner positioned Illinois as the second state in the country to formally welcome blockchain. And here's the part I love. While New York was building this heavy licensing wall called the BIT license, the one that chased startups out, Illinois went the other way. They picked clarity over barriers and ran real experiments. A land records pilot in Cook County, a digital identity pilot for birth certificates. And here's the honest part most people skip. That land pilot quietly concluded Bitcoin's proof of work design just wasn't the right tool for real estate records. They didn't pretend, they learned by building. But curiosity became law. In 2020, two bills went live. The first, the Blockchain Technology Act, was quietly powerful. It said a smart contract can't be denied legal effect just for being a smart contract. It made blockchain records admissible as evidence in court, and it even blocked local governments from taxing the simple use of a blockchain. The second made promoting this technology part of the state's official economic development job. So on paper, by 2020, Illinois was one of the most blockchain-ready legal environments in America. But then, the momentum faded. The pilots wrapped, the headlines moved on, and nobody from the private sector was tending the garden. And that gap, that's where our story turns. So fast forward to 2024. A new organization quietly incorporates in Chicago, the Illinois Blockchain Association. The mission, in their words, is to advance and protect Illinois' Web3 ecosystem by unifying industry voices, educating people, and advocating for sound public policy. The vision is bolder, to make Illinois the best place in the entire US to build a blockchain company. And what makes this group interesting isn't a token, because there isn't one. It's the people. And they're some of the most serious legal minds in the space. The executive director is Olta Andoni, general counsel at a crypto exchange who's taught blockchain law at Chicago Kent since 2013, so before most people even had a wallet. The co-founder is Nelson Rosario, who actually ran the group first before handing the reins to Olta. His path is great: a computer science degree, a stint as a Florida election official, then he caught the crypto bug in law school and became a patent attorney. His crypto course filled up and had to turn students away. But here's my favorite detail. Their general counsel is Mike Frisch, who was a trial attorney at the CFTC, the Federal Commodities Regulator, working the early landmark crypto enforcement cases, the kind that built the federal rulebook. So think about that. The person who once helped police this industry now helps defend it. Rounding it out is board member Andrew Poterala, who founded ETH Chicago. And backing them, you've got real names: Coinbase, Circle, Zero Hash, and respected Chicago law firms. Membership is genuinely open. This is a coalition, not a club. So why does this matter right now, in June of 2026? Because this is the moment the association was built for. Tucked deep inside Illinois' new $56 billion budget bill is a provision called the Digital Asset Privilege Tax. And it's simple to say and huge in effect: a 0.2% tax on digital asset transactions collected by the crypto brokers operating in the state. 0.2% sounds tiny, right? But here's what everyone's pointing at. It's a tax on the transaction, not your profit. So you're taxed when you buy, taxed when you sell, taxed even if you lost money. And a broker operating without registering isn't facing a fine, they're facing a felony charge. The bill passed. It went to the governor on June 10th, and right now it's sitting on J.B. Pritzker's desk. Now, I want to be fair because there are two sides. The state's argument, from Senator L.G. Sims, is survival. He points to federal funding cuts and chaos out of Washington and says Illinois needs the revenue, around $60 million a year. That's a legitimate pressure. But the industry pushed back hard. The association teamed up with the Digital Chamber and on June 4th sent a joint letter calling the tax, quote, substantively unsound, procedurally deficient, and economically destructive. They warned it could trigger a mass exodus of innovators because no other state has anything like it. Olta Andoni put it bluntly, a 20 basis point tax is the legislature telling you to pack your bags and go. And here's the nuance most coverage misses. The tax carves things out. NFTs and meme coins? Exempt. Decentralized exchanges, staking, self-custody? Also exempt. It targets fungible investment crypto bought through brokers. And the deepest irony? Pritzker himself once fought a similar tax on Chicago's exchanges, warning companies would just leave. Same argument, now pointed right back at him. So you might think, aren't there already big crypto advocacy groups? Yeah, so let me clear up two confusions. First, don't mix up the association with the old initiative. The initiative, in 2016, was the state government experimenting with blockchain. The association, today, is the private industry shaping policy. Second, the national groups, like the Digital Chamber and the DC-based Blockchain Association, fight the federal battles in Washington. But here's the key insight. So much of what actually affects a crypto company happens at the state level. Licensing, banking access, and yes, taxes. That's all state turf. So a state group isn't redundant, it fills a gap the federal groups can't reach. And other states figured this out first. Wyoming passed dozens of crypto laws. Texas built its own blockchain council. Illinois, for all its early history, was a little late to organize this way, and the association says so openly. But here's Illinois' secret weapon, Chicago. Because Chicago is the derivatives capital of the world. The CME launched the first regulated Bitcoin futures back in 2017. Some of the biggest crypto trading desks on Earth, firms like DRW and its Cumberland arm, run out of Chicago. So the financial plumbing for digital assets, a lot of it already lives here. As for AI and tokenization, that story runs through the members. Circle, behind a major dollar stablecoin, and Zero Hash, which builds tokenization infrastructure. And I'll be straight with you, the association hasn't published a formal AI policy yet, but the ingredients, the talent, the institutions, the law, they're all sitting right here in one place. So where does this all land? Here's what makes this story different from most crypto news. It isn't over. The bill is passed, but it is not signed. It's sitting on the governor's desk, unresolved, which means the window is genuinely still open. That's rare. Usually, by the time you hear about a policy fight, it's already decided. This one isn't, and that's exactly why the association exists, to be the organized voice in that window. Now zoom out, because the bigger picture is hopeful. Illinois isn't anti-crypto. Just last year, the state passed a thoughtful consumer protection law for digital assets, the kind of guardrail the industry actually asked for. And federally, things are moving. A stablecoin law already passed, and a broader market structure bill is working through Congress to sort out the rules of the road. So the association's job going forward is threefold: grow the coalition, educate lawmakers, and protect that legal foundation Illinois built a decade ago. So let me leave you with something you can actually do. If you live in Illinois and care about this, the bill is still unsigned, so contacting the governor's office and your state legislators through the official site, ilga.gov, genuinely matters right now. If you're a builder, the coalition is open at illinoisblockchain.org. The point isn't which side you land on. It's that for once, the story's ending hasn't been written yet, and you're early enough to watch it happen. So when you step back, the arc is kind of beautiful. Illinois wrote some of the friendliest blockchain laws in the country before it was cool. Then it looked away for a few years. And now a small, serious coalition of lawyers and builders is standing up to make sure that legacy doesn't get taxed into the ground. Whatever Governor Pritzker decides, the Illinois Blockchain Association has already done the important thing. It gave the industry an organized, credible voice in its own home state. And in policy, having someone in the room when the decisions get made, that's most of the battle. The framework is strong, the talent is here, and the story is still being written. If you got value from this one, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow. There's a full written breakdown with every source linked in the description, so check that out. Thanks for watching Information in Motion, and I'll see you in the next one.